Rest in peace, Dirty.
Now you see why I say he never went nowhere?
Papa Wu, you want to say anything about Dirty's 50th coming up? Dirty's 50th. Well, because Papa Wu's always dropping science, and the science needs to be fed through.
The science is life, brother. That's the reason why I drop science. I don't drop mathematics. Mathematics is for me to know, to drop this sign. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, man, I'm dropping mathematics. You don't drop mathematics, drop science. The science is life. And life is man existence. See, what brothers do, they don't understand. What they do, they lose their existence because they don't apply something to their existence, which is destiny. The word destiny. A man has to have a destiny. See, a woman don't have to have a destiny. You know what I'm saying? A man has to have a destiny. If you don't have a destiny, you don't have no sense of direction. That means you can be swayed into any way you want to go. That's the problem. That's this number one thing I'm stressing today. It's a destiny. What is a man's destiny? And when a man tells me what his destiny is, I'm going to show him what everlasting life is. Because a lot of brothers can't even tell you. When you get to that, what's your destiny, brother? He gets stopped. Like, you forgot that fast. What's your destiny? What's your goal at the end of this shit, man? You was given everlasting life to do something. Now tell me what your goals is to sustain this everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you. They see me.
We're talking to you. We're talking to all of us, I guess.
See.
Cappadonna was God.
Question to me?
No. It's the same reflection. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to look at them, but my brother, I see myself, make sure I'm correct. If I'm saying something wrong, I see an odd blink and say, yo, you was straight. I say, I watch no camera. You know what I'm saying? I watch my brother when I drop signs.
That's what it is.
I keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? But everything got to go from now to born. You know what I'm saying? It don't take a rocket science to figure out anything in life no more today. See, because if you just take simple mathematics and add it up to it plain what it just means, knowledge means simply to know. And then you hear brothers might take it off into their own world. Well, it's the foundation of this way. Another brother might say it this way. But it simply means to know. Wisdom is simply mean to speak. So if you got a brother want to say it's a manifestation of all this and all that, he can say that. But it just simply means to speak. Understanding means to explain that same knowledge that you running your mouth about, and you have to explain it. You don't got to say understanding is all this, the third eye. It just means to explain. See, I break things down to the simplest form of understanding that a baby can understand it. A baby say, Daddy, we understand it. Explain it, son. All it means to you, explain your facts. Explain what you know. Through your wisdom, they will see your power. And by you manifesting that, and that's the truth that you are manifesting, they will surely understand, and the understanding will be understood.
Power.
All right? That's the only power you have.
That's the real power.
You know what I'm saying? Because through your wisdom, they got to see your power, not through my wisdom.
Yes.
What I say don't mean nothing to the next person. It's what you say. That's why a lot of brothers don't even know how to test their own self sometimes. That's why I say good growth and development to any man's mind is a traveling man. Now, how far did Dow travel? See, Dow travel far in the dimension as far as you can see. If you can't see it, then it's not there. If it was meant to be, it would be. If it wasn't meant to be, would it ever be? People don't understand. This is just a big ball, a space, and everything in it is applied by rules and regulations and laws and orders and all this. You got to learn to erase yourself from this bullshit and create your own home circumference. See, you got to create your own world here. Some people don't know how and have the tools to create a life. So they need other guidance, because sometimes people will be fucked up. So some people have to go on the system. Some people need this for guidance. Some people need that for guidance. But if you're real with yourself and you're a person, then you can survive in this world without being a part of their government. You don't have to be part of nothing. You can build your own government.
Ghetto government?
You know what I'm saying? As long as it applies to you.
Like racism? Ghetto government?
You know what I'm saying? Because what I do, I have rules and regulations that I enforce. You can't come around me talking nonsense. That's one thing. When they call me the truth analyzer, I'm the truth analyzer. Because
Universal Killa, be my style.
Around me, do the knowledge, man. I don't need no echo chamber right now. Thank you, brother. But anyway, see, the foundation of yourself, man, is always knowledge. And knowledge is the foundation of all things. Now I have to give you that because you like to run your mouth. Alright? I call that lip professor because you're just talking for nothing. Alright? Sometimes it's good to just apply yourself when it needs to be applied. Alright? You shooting a video, you doing what you're doing, you ask me to do something, then do that.
Understood.
I don't need you to talk.
Understood, bro.
Thank you, brother. That's number 2. And number 3 is understand. See, now I gotta explain it now. Because I love you.
Love you too, God. I'm your adopted son, that's what you said, so we gotta stick with that.
So now we got to understood, right?
We understood.
Now we can go up with set us free. With all the shit we both live the same way of life. That's our culture. That's 4. Because see, if we don't set our minds free after all that, then you start feeling a little hard. So you gotta let a man know this is your way of life too. Just as well as mine. So the understand have to be understood that I'm not talking harshly, I'm just giving you facts. It ain't actually, but it's just facts right now. That this is what goes down. So once you get that type of understanding, you know your coaching, and you be fine with that, then you start to see your power. See, now you have to be honest now with me. Because through your wisdom, I'm going to see who you is now. Then it's time to talk. Because you have to wisdom your power, because I can't tell people about you. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my daughter all the time, they can jump up in my face sometimes and talk, jump, and every time they get in a little situation where they got to go and take care of their business, oh daddy, but you can't talk to them, like that's crazy. I'm your dad, but you can jump up so fast and dad, blah, blah, blah. And so when the people get around you, you get quiet. Like you can't express it. You know when you go for a job, they ask you, when you go to an interview, they give you this interview where they say you have to, what they call it, you should know, you got to explain yourself to them. When you got to sit there in front of them, they say, tell me something about yourself. Well, every job gives you that type of interview like that, where they take you in this room, you have to tell yourself. And everybody that, when I work for Transit, and I had to do that. I had to give people, everybody that came in, I said, well, tell me something about yourself. And you know they get stuck and get quiet. I said, you don't know nothing about you? Well, I said, what's your name? Now you're going to stutter when I ask you your name. What does you feel? That you're going to get something wrong? All you do is tell it right. It can't be wrong. Unless you got something to hide. And now you're being in front. And now you're being exposed. See, some people, like a person that stutter, only reason I'm right is a person that stutter because they get afraid, they don't hear themselves. If you take a person that stutter all the time, tell them to just hear in their ear what they said before they talk to other people, hear every exact word you said first, and then repeat what you said. Don't just bring it out on people, because that's where your shyness come in. That when you're in front of people, you can't really express yourself. So when you get to certain words, because certain words make you do that, like the SI word, the SA, certain words. So when you get to certain things, it'll make you start, because now the fear comes in. Because people are facing you, and you don't want to get what you're saying wrong. So you overlap your words too many times. But if you hear yourself, that's why I say you're supposed to think 5 times. See, your mind goes through 5 stages: conscious, subconscious, superconscious, magnetic, and infinity. Alright? So once you get to that 5th state, that infinity state of mind, that means nothing goes back. You got billions and billions of thoughts that hit your head at one time. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the thoughts go as fast as the speed of sound. Sound travels at the speed of 1,120 feet per second. But don't you know your thoughts can travel that fast at 1,120 feet per second too? And out of all these thoughts you get, you only can capture one of them. You got billions and billions of thoughts running through your head at one time. And you only get one of them, and once you get that one of them, if you don't answer it goes, then you can never go back to that one. Unless you have a deja vu and say, I've been there before, and that's when that shit comes back to you. Ain't that some shit? You know why? Because you're in so many different dimensions. Right now, you're in a dimension, you're sitting on this table, another dimension, you might be standing at the door, another dimension. See, people don't know how to capture their dimensions. Because most of them dead. See, when they say the lost and found was dead, and we had to be found, and we come back, you come back mentally into a state of mind. You know what I'm saying? The other day, the brother said something, and when I turned my head at him, because what he said, the whole bottle and the tables and all that flew over. And that was just the power. I don't have to touch nothing, I don't have to touch nobody. It's just that's your inner strength. Let me tell you something. You got 7.5 ounces of brain cells, right? And this is how much you use. I'm not gonna lie. That's all you use of your brain cells. Because if you use the full capacity of your brain cells, you can walk through that fucking wall. And that's no exaggeration. Because now you got the mind power. You know all elements is atoms, so you can walk through an atom. You know what I'm saying? When you start developing. And you only can develop it to a certain degree, because if you get too much of it, it'll destroy you. That's why it's not made to use that. Your brain and your mind, that's why they say the mind's a terrible thing to waste. If you don't learn how to exercise your power, you'll never know who you are. Like I said the other day, the brother said something, and to keep from me, the anger I learned, thanks to God, how to had to channel all my energy, and because I get angry sometimes. I'm a violent. I get like, you know what I'm saying. But I challenge other ways. And the other night, the brother said something I said, and I challenged it the other night, and I shifted. And I said, when I looked at him, fucking bottle, he had spilled his drink, his bottle fell over, and I said, you see, that's power now. Now I know truly that's what God do. I just looked at him and caused everything to erupt. And I said, I think you should get up, man, because you got something. But it's what he said out of his mouth didn't add up to the cipher. You know what I'm saying? So he put himself in that situation. My job is to weigh all facts and circumstances and find truth to my own judgment and rights. I don't play with words, so words, man, mean something. So a brother could say something, and I don't have to touch him. I learned now, I'm growing more into it because, see, I refined myself. I had to clean myself up. Before, I was filthy inside. You know what I'm saying? Real filthy inside. You know, profanity, words, putting all kind of stuff in my body. But when you strive for total perfection to the end, I'm 62 years old, man. I'll be 63 years old, man. So you got to learn to reverse yourself. So everything I put in myself as I was growing up, I took it out of my body. Now I'm free. I'm the divine universal master. But I don't no longer do these things that I used to do. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm striving to get there. So that's what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to start subtracting things from you. Because when you was born pure, in the purest station that you could ever be born as a child. From day one, when you learned how to do the knowledge, that means you looked at everything. Nobody told you nothing. When you got 2 years old, you started making little words. When you got 3 years old, you could explain some of the things, but not everything. When you got 4 years old, whatever your way of life they gave you, whether you're a Christian, Jehovah's Witness, that's what you lived. When you got 5 years old, you learned the power of whatever your parents gave you. Whether you're a Christian, Jehovah's Witness, you learned the power of that. Because that's the shit you're going to go to school with and you're going to run your mouth with. All right? When you get 6 years old, you learn how to deal with equality. You only want to talk to people who talk like you. When you get 7, you God. See, now this is the point now. When they say God, the nature of a man is to be God. That's just in his DNA. Whether he's God or righteous, he's God unrighteous. So being God, I mean you got to be the super intelligent person or this. It's just the nature of a man, period. Because the only thing God means is intelligence. And a man is born with pure intelligence. So he goes through this imperfection world that me and my brother went through the other day and really said the world's not been imperfection. How the fuck can you tell me the world's not imperfection when you got volcanoes, you got tornadoes that destruct and tearing shit up? Only thing is righteous is here. Because anytime them things go, only thing that can't hurt is a lot of children, God children. See, God children don't get hurt in disasters. See, disasters are here on this planet. They take the wrongdoers away. See, the wrath of God is a motherfucker. Some people, if they don't understand the wrath of God, then you can't see. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the wrath of him. The wrath of him, I'll knock down your building where you can't live. The wrath of him, I'll burn your crops. I'll put someone heat on the planet and your crops will burn. You can't grow another seed again here. Force you to move somewhere else. And then you don't know how to migrate and you don't know how to self-survive, then you'll be dead. See, that's what. And a lot of people right here today in America don't even teach their kids how to survive. If this building fall down, your baby don't even know what the fuck to even do. And I hate to say it like that. But you'll put on some Jordans on them and show them how to shake their ass and do all kind of fucking stupid ass shit, but you don't teach them how to fucking survive. If a baby will kick him out, if somebody running in the house, what you gonna do, son? All the babies will run around still gonna start screaming. Nobody know how to attack, nobody know how to do nothing. You grab his leg, you bite him, you do this. It's strangers in our fucking house. Kids don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand what they're doing. They're doing more damage than anybody's doing. Because anything's got to be taught, it's got to be self-taught home. So you can't take your baby to school and send them to school and think the teacher's got to teach them. No, the teachers learn from your babies. For to be a teacher. They can't be a teacher. When they get essays and they get certain stuff in school, they got to mark these grades. And then at a certain period of time, they have to take a training or they put them out from being teachers. They have to take a course every year just to be a teacher. So the only way they have to know what's going on, they have to learn from the students, what the students have to say, and they grade the student paper, and they take the best paper, and then they go take their test, and that's how they learn, and that's how the government know they doing their job. Everything is a system. Everything is a system. And if you get caught up in the system, then you don't have no sense of knowledge or no sense of direction of your own. So that means you're easy to be led in the wrong direction, you're hard to be led in the right. What's up, baby? Who loves you?
What's about to go down tonight, Papa? The 25th.
What's going down? What I'm saying, what's going down. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what's going down right here. Now, we about to entertain them, but what's in this room now, and it's like, that's what's going down. You know what I'm saying? DC in this room is in this room. Now, if you want to ask me what's going on, wait till we get to the stage and get closer to the next room. This is...
How was DC last night?
DC gonna keep fucking with me, actually.
Yo, Nahbi reality, Papa Wu. I love
to show you how. The reason why I'm doing this is to show you how. Don't ever let a person distract you.
Yeah.
See, I hear and I don't hear. Sometimes people it could be 5 people in this room talking to me at one time, and I guarantee you, I'll sit and talk and tell you everything everybody said because I don't disfocus myself. I hear you. But you got to look at me too and look what's around. Everybody trying to talk to me too. So if you ain't got common sense, you goddamn self, then what you want me to do? You know everybody's in here talking. So how do you want me to capture just you? You see what I'm saying? That people don't understand that. And some people get mad behind things like that. You know, like I said, I learned from the best. And that's for myself and on hand. You have to make mistakes. And you have to give your child a chance to make mistakes because that's the only way you're going to learn them what they would do because they will hide everything from you. But if you don't give them that little space to make a mistake, you will never know nothing about your child, how to help them because they're going to keep everything from you. They a step ahead of you, so you being a step ahead of them. And that's what you know what I'm saying? So I gave them room like to talk to me like adults, even though they was kids, like because I want to hear what type of words you would use if you had to use it. You know what I'm saying? So if I let you be free to be you, then I can say, no, you don't say that, you don't do that, you know, but you got to hear it come first. You got to see what they do first. You don't tell them what to do. See what they do first. Because your job is here just to guide them. And then after you guide them, they got to go on their own. And half the time when they go on their own, they do something, everything totally goddamn way. You know what I mean? So you gotta be very cautious with kids because you can't smother them. Because sometimes parents ruin them before they even get out there. Because you never give them a chance to express themselves. And most kids that I ever dealt with, they say, man, I can't never talk. They will tell me, shut up. I mean, come on. How you keep telling kids to shut up? They don't know. You don't know. You ain't grown up. Just shut up. But see, some of them is grown. Some of them get grown at 15 and you don't even know it. And they think like a 20-year-old person. So if you're not analyzing your universe, that because you created it. Sometimes young girls and young boys at 15, that don't mean they 15. Some of their minds is 20 and 25 years old. But you don't want to see that because you keep saying, and then that clogs them up because they got to fight against you and then they got to fight against this world. And every day they said, you don't even know they said, they got to come home so they get confused too. They end up doing whatever they want to do. And that's what make you mad. Where did I go wrong? You ain't go wrong yet. You're just not giving them a chance to tell you. Sometimes they come to you ready to tell you what they did. But you're not catching it. Let them express themselves. That's all I have to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Say peace. Oh, yeah. You gotta let them express themselves.
All right, Papa.
You know, that's how you get caught up in everything. Right, Bob?
Last word?
I said when you deal with children, they have to make their own mistakes. I say, like a lot of parents, they should shut the kids up, but you have to let them talk because see, if you don't let them express themselves first, and you keep telling them what to do, then they're gonna hide things. But if you let them express and do it, and then you say, all right, you don't do that. You let them use words, and then no, that's not the right word. That's not a good word. You let them do things, no, that's not good for you because you don't do this. But if you come at them all the time and trying to control their life, it's not you to control their life, because that's gonna make them run astray. Because you're controlling them. But once they get their inch and hear something else from somebody else, then they run. But if you keep it real with them, like, yo, that's why we gave my kids freedom to speak, like, little curse words didn't mean that, because the worst curse somebody ended up in the block. When they got mad, I let them use it. And I let them hold court on each other. Like, I would sit at the table like, yo, tell him what he did wrong. You tell your sister what she did wrong. But I let them, gave them a chance to express themselves. Then now I would step in and say, you shouldn't say that to him. That's why he did that.
Because you're not going to take the ball and hold it all the way. You're going to just guide it.
Got it. That's what you got to do. The way I just said, you got to guide them. You can't take them and give them, because sometimes parents, what they do, they try to give a life that they didn't have. I did it with my own.
Yeah, maybe they don't want that life. You know what I'm saying about it?
You know, being in the house, God, and the flag on the wall, and we try to instill in our children. And Rahid, my son, my namesake, who I named Rahid. Rahid grew up, Rahid ain't liked it. Like, he ain't like it. He thought we was too strict, having to know his lessons. And he went to Howard University. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, he rebelled in the beginning, Rob. He rebelled, like, Dad, I'm my own man. I used to be like, you born God, I was born was born alive. I had to tell people to stop calling me Hector. You came out your mother's womb, you knew who you was, but then I learned from having to have more children.
But like I said, he said, I'm my own
Man. He said, I'm my own man. He has his own DNA. He has his own makeup.
That's the whole thing that's trying to teach us.
Right.
Own self, he already know his own self.
Right.
In the same condition you had to go.
Exactly.
So that flower open.
Thank you.
You was born with the flower open already.
Exactly. It was already in the palm of his hand. And then I learned from him how to deal with Melquan, Brianna, how to deal with the rest of my team. Alright, Nahbi.
Peace to the Abbott. I just wanted, you know, I just
some disciples. Because I live in Boston now, and this is Pop Wu's team. Mike Boston, he was on Ellen.
Yeah, they won the car. Yeah, Mike Boston.
He does outstanding work in the Boston community. Nahbi Reality and
we met
the Universal Killa Beez. You know what I mean? And so when I moved up here, I said, I found my own. You know how long we've been running?
I was in the back playing. He was playing the piano after one night going on. He was on. That was the joint. But thank you for the jewels, because you know we do the podcast and peace to the Albert RZA. I want to play my own piano. Peace. Shop Radio, we in the building. Mike Boston, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? How's everything going with the Mobile Stew project, man?
That's the moments, right? You be feeling it, still.
Community creation, we rock with the youth.
What's going on with the improv thing last night?
So, improv. You as a friend collaborator, what do you want to say about his birthday?
It's bothering you.